And welcome back. And we have with us, we have complete duty on set this morning. We have with us Jenelli Fraser, who is Miss Universe Belize 2018, who's about halfway through her term and still glowing. And we also have with us the National Director of Miss Universe Belize Organization, Romeo Escobar, who's the man and the magic behind a lot of what happens for us in this country. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we're about to find the next Jenelli Fraser. We're doing casting calls.
I don't know if the next, but you could definitely say the next queen.
Yeah.
What does the process involve in terms of what are you looking for in your casting call?
Well, I'm really excited this year because I think we set a good pace last year and we've shown what we can do, and she's done a great job. So whoever comes after her has really
big high heels to fill.
Exactly, big shoes to fill. But it's exciting, and I think most important is confidence, and she'll tell you too. Yeah. It's all about confidence. If you have confidence, you can overcome anything. And that's what I tell all the girls that have questions for us and reach out to us is you have to believe in yourself, because no one will believe in yourself if you don't.
Right. Yeah, but you see, everybody has insecurities and challenges. Are we talking about real inner confidence? Or are we talking about building someone up enough to feel confident in any situation?
We always help them, and we'll give them those tools to prepare them for the international stage. Yeah. But in order to come out to the casting, you have to have some sort of confidence and believe that you have what it takes to be our next Miss Belize. So, but of course, we're there to support her throughout her journey, just like we did with Jen.
Yeah, it definitely starts with inner beauty. From the time that I went to apply for Miss Universe, in my head, I was already the Miss Universe. And then, of course, leading up to the actual pageant, you build a different kind of confidence where you're exposed to women from all over the world. So it's a challenge, but it's something, once you have that internal confidence, it becomes a little bit easier.
Romeo, take me back now. So last year was your first foray into pageantry in Belize. And so you wanted to be able to set the tone, as you said before. What have been some of the lessons you've learned in organizing and recruiting and training in your first year as the organizer?
Patience. You have to have a lot of patience. It's a lot of work. And I think that a lot of people don't realize the amount of work that it takes to put on an event like this. Like you said, the casting process, sponsorships, preparing the pageant itself, writing the competition, preparing her for Miss Universe. So it's a lot of work. So
and dealing with different personalities.
You know, we had 11 contestants last year. You can imagine dealing with 11 different women, 11 different personalities. So it's a lot of work, but it's all for one purpose, you know.
So you're based in LA. You're actually in television. You work in television as well. You have a very different perspective in terms of work ethic and cultures. And then you come to Belize, and then I maybe can give away one of the secrets here, which is you actually had 12 girls. And you had very set rules. You either do what we're committed to do or you're out. And so when one girl was late or couldn't show up for an appearance, it went down to 11.
Right, that was when we had our reveal on this show.
Yeah.
And the rule was, you know, you had to be there, I think it was 6 a.m.
On time.
And if you didn't make it at 6, then you were automatically eliminated. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I use that as an example to say, and I'm sure a lot of people are shocked, because it shows where you're trying to establish a system that perhaps whoever wins will need to be adhere to it. They will need to have that discipline. What is it like getting everybody on board in that way?
Well, I know Jenelli will tell you firsthand, when you go to Miss Universe, they tell you a time and you have to be ready at that time. So we have to prepare our girls from the beginning. We say a certain time, you have to be ready at that time. Miss Universe is not going to wait. Yeah. And if you're late, you already get points deducted. They're already pointing you out like, this girl's late, she's never on time, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
But you know, this brings me to, and I have a lot of appreciation for what you've done, because to me it's a cultural uphill struggle. I'm not just talking about the lateness, but we don't have a pageant culture in Belize. So in identifying and eyeing the contestants or in recruiting, you don't have a pool. You can't go to Miss Kayo team and say, okay, well, I'm going to watch Marlene
groom that
one, and you know she's the future. So you have to do a dry eye test. How much of the local culture of not appreciating what it entails? It's probably like sports, like basketball. Everybody thinks it's just picking up a ball one day, going out on the court and shooting. How can you inculcate? How can you pass on what all it entails? What all it entails, even before, even at the casting call level, to let them know, listen, it's not just about smiling and being beautiful. It's more about discipline, about the work. Because people think that beauty isn't work, and it's a lot more work than somebody who doesn't have beauty can say that.
Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's little by little. We have to demonstrate through example, you know, and that's what we've done. I think we've set the bar from last year. I think people have seen what we've done, and little by little, the pageant culture here will change. We started the pageant last year at 6 p.m. and people were like, oh, it starts at 6, we'll get there a little later. They got there later, they have missed half the show. We have to change the perception of how pageantry is done here. And I think slowly but surely we will get there.
Yeah. But let's go back to the casting call, because, and I want to get Jenelli in here, because it takes a lot of confidence. You know, even if I think maybe, and people start telling me, you'd be good as Miss Belize, you should do it. And you know, a girl hears that, but you still have to convince yourself to show up on that day on casting call.
Be on time.
Take me back to when you decided and actually making the jump. So the girls who are thinking about it, who are on the fence, can make up their own minds as to whether or not they'll go out for the casting call.
Well, what I did was I looked at where I was in my life at that time and what I had to contribute to the organization, to the title itself, and to Belize. And I had to convince myself that I was worthy of that title, and then I took that step. Of course, there were challenges, and I had to further convince myself that I made this decision for a reason. But if I had to tell girls, or if I had any advice to give to these young ladies that want to go up for Miss Universe Belize, I would tell them that definitely it's not about the physical, it's not about the external beauty, but make sure that you are somehow contributing to your community. Make sure that you're respectful to others and yourself, because a lot of times girls say, I want to go up for Miss Universe, and then you go on the social media and you see something different. And you need to remember that you're representing your country. And so anything that's personal, you have to put aside. So I'm also looking, or I want to encourage girls to be themselves and to have some kind of spunk or personality, because it definitely sets you apart. So you don't have to come into the audition room and think, oh, I'm a robot, I have to say what I think they want to hear. It's all about being yourself.
Can I be provocative? Sometimes being beautiful, you know, you grow up and say, man, you know, handsome child or I have a beautiful daughter. You don't have to develop a personality.
You don't, sorry?
A lot of times when you look good, you don't have to develop a personality. In fact, a lot of times some people who look good have bad attitudes. What are some of the wrong reasons that you could go up for this competition? Whether that's ego or because my part tell me that I look good. What are some of the wrong reasons that you should really tell yourself, if this is the reason you're going up for Miss Belize Universe, don't go?
I think I've seen a couple people, or I've heard a couple of people say, oh, I want to be there because there's a lot of pictures being taken, or I'll be on TV, or I have something that I want to promote. And they forget it's not about you, it's about the country. And so that's definitely one of the main reasons. If you have different motives, you should not be there.
Well, see, there's only so much screening you can do on a person's personality, and I guess we saw the scandal coming out from the Miss Universe itself with Miss USA and her comments there. So people will be who they are. But I want to talk about the characteristics that you're looking for. We know one thing. Pageants are changing, and they're changing globally. People are looking at plus size. People are looking at transgender, natural hair to short hair, to so many different things that once upon a time were taboo in pageantry. Are we going that route in Belize? Is it open to all sizes, shapes, heights, hair lengths, curl definition, whatever it is?
Absolutely. I think even last year, one of the things that as a new committee we wanted to do and was important to us was to change the face of pageantry in the country, meaning you don't have to be 5'10", you don't have to be a size 0, you don't have to have extensions. You could have a natural look and still be considered beautiful, because for us it's all about feeling, like I said before, feeling confident. So if you look at our group from last year, it was a very diverse group, and that was that was important to us.
And even in terms of preparations, because there are probably some girls who from they were very young, they thought, I want to do that. And they go to Queen of the Bay, they come to the pageants here and they say they want to do that. What is there in Belize to help me prepare, even before the casting call? Is there a consultant? Are there people that I can go to who can tell me, listen, even for the casting call, before you go, I can coach you, I can show you how to walk a little, I can tell you how to talk a little, because really and truly another problem that we're having is even communicating. We have a problem communicating in Belize. And we have a problem communicating, and we're actually talking a second language. English ain't what we talk.
Yeah. You mean public speaking more than communicating?
Yeah, but even communicating. I mean, we have Creole is an imprecise language. Go there, do that. Intonations are different. Ideas are developed less. Like, where is it? Round the lane. But my question is, are there people that I can go to? Etiquette school, something that I can go to even before. So when I get there, I know, okay, well, when I sit, I cross my legs at the bottom, I sit this way, I speak loudly, I put my shoulders back. Are there people I can go to?
Surprisingly enough, there's a lot of people here that love pageantry. And if anyone has questions, they can always email us and we can point them to those people that can help them, can help them walk, can help them feel better about their speech. Jenelli, I'm sure, will be willing to help them. They just have to reach out to us, and email us and say, I want to come to the casting, but I have questions, or I need help with that. And then we can point them to the right, person. Unfortunately, there isn't those academies that they have in like the Philippines or Venezuela. We don't have that yet. And maybe in the future we will. But in the meantime, we have those particular people that follow pageantry and are have those skills that we can point the particular girl in that direction.
Romeo, I do have to say, I don't want to miss the opportunity to point out you were nominated for Best Director as the National Director for Belize in the Global Beauty Awards, and congratulations to you for that on your first year on taking on this venture. Tell me, why is this something that you want to pursue, that you travel this way, meet with these girls, work with these girls, take them to LA, put them under your wing? Why is this something that you're interested in?
I grew up here, and I always knew that even though I moved to LA when I was really young, that I wanted to come back here and give something back to the country, And I grew up watching Miss Belize. I grew up watching Miss Costa Maya. And so my passion for pageantry was since I was small. And my passion for television was since I was small. So I already did the television part of it, So it was my turn to do the pageantry part of it. And why not do it in a country that saw me grow up and gave me so much, So I do it from the heart. I don't make, it's a huge financial responsibility, and a lot of people don't realize we need more sponsors. We need more financial support from the government. Because it is a very expensive venture. And unfortunately, we didn't have that support last year. But so to answer your question, I do it because it's a passion of mine and I wanted to do this since I was young. And it fills me with pride to see Belize in that international stage. That feeling of being in Thailand and seeing her with the Belize sash.
And seeing the flag.
And seeing the flag. There's no greater feeling than that.
And you knew from first-hand experience that Belize has so many beautiful women. You know, and I share what you said in terms of all the different ethnicities, looks, and whatnot. I want to ask you, because you said something and it's triggered a thought, which is people don't understand what it takes. But what you did witness is that when Jenelli got to Thailand, and maybe a little bit before, then all attention is on. And why didn't she get this training? Why didn't she get this dress? Why not all these things in place? How do you communicate that at this point? So that when we make it to whatever international stage it is, with who our new Miss Belize will be, there won't be all the why didn't we?
I hope that so far what we've done, and you know, the nomination is just one thing, but the exposure that she received outside the country, I hope that motivated people here to know that we can only go up from here. If we were able to do this with very minimal support, imagine what we can do with more support. Right. So I hope that we've shown what we can do. Let's do more. With your help, we can do more. We can eventually, take home that crown, bring home that crown. Why not?
You know, you can't. In sports, they say you can't out Michael Jordan. You know, but you surely can create a niche. We can't out Venezuela. We can't out America. Where do you think the opportunity is for that unique beauty look? We saw where certain countries went in a completely different direction to just shock the world, and they were successful. Where do you think is the next frontier in terms of uniqueness? Because beauty, as you said, there are lots. Beauty is an eye of the beholder, and there's a lot of beauty all around. So there has to be a distinguishing feature. Where do you think that uniqueness lies for Belizeans? Something that only Belizeans have, whether or not it's external or it is in terms of
personality.
Character.
Personality. No one will have what we have here, and that's what Miss Universe is looking for in each girl. You know,
how well you represent your country based on your personality. And like you said, no one has what Belize has. You can't compare us to any of the CARICOM countries.
Jamaica?
Or Central America?
No, absolutely not. When I went to Miss Universe, I bragged about where Belize was located. We're part of Central America, we're part of CARICOM, North America, and so you combine all of these different countries, and then there you have Belize, this big, grand country. Even though we're so small, it's still so big.
Yeah. So tell us about someone who's considering going out to the casting call. And this is taking place on Saturday, and you'll tell us all the details, how they prepare. But what should I expect in terms, if I get to the casting call and I'm accepted, what type of work does it actually take to get to that pageant stage?
I would like
both of you tell me. Yeah, start with Jenelli.
What type of work?
Because I'm sure what you thought you were going to do is very different from the reality.
Yeah. Well, I have been receiving a couple of messages from young women who say, I don't like this about myself. And I say, okay, so is that the only thing that's holding you back? If it is the only thing that is holding you back, then work on that specific thing. And then when you get to meet the girls, you find their strengths. And if you feel like you want to mimic them, you ask them for help. There's also videos that you can look. There's people, like Romeo said, that you can reach out to who are willing to assist you in terms of public speaking, how to walk, how to dress, how to sit. There are people, so if you feel deep down that you have certain things that it's not your strength, then I suggest that you work on that first.
What is a cost?
What does it take?
Sorry.
I agree with her. Just be ready for a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And if you want to be successful, you're going to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah. What is a casting call? Walk me through it. I get there, I am dressed up in a suit I just bought from my favorite boutique. I went and did my hair at Mappiz. I'm sitting there. What happens next? What meets
We're asked this question almost every day. They say, what do I bring? What do I wear? And I always say, dress to impress.
It's your first
right,
impression.
it's dress to impress. What does that mean? You tell me.
That
you want to stand out.
gives you a lot about the personality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, you wear this, you wear what you want to wear. Showcase yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you about you and why you want to represent
So there's an
the
interview.
country.
You go in and there's an interview.
So what did you wear at your casting call?
I wore a black suit so that I could appear to be tall, and I appear to have this presence about myself. And they always say that black is so professional, so I wore a black suit.
I thought they said it was slimming
Did that stand out?
You know what? She stood out from the beginning. I always tell her that when she walked out of the room, all the committee just looked at each other and we said, she's in, you know.
She was very confident. I remember your first interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the confidence. It was that aura that she presented, and I think that's what it takes. You know?
I think one of the things that we might be doing differently this year too, for auditions, we spoke about walking.
Ooh. What is this walk? What are you talking about? We walk every day. What is the difference?
Yeah, but there's a difference with pageantry walk.
What is it?
You must be able to showcase yourself, the dress that you're wearing, the swimsuit that you're wearing. There are different walks.
Oh, you know, Jenelli, we have to see this walk. So maybe we have a little runway right here. You can show us. I'll do it with you if it makes you feel better.
She says showing on the screen.
So what is the secret of this walk? Or is Romeo going to show us?
No, I think with all girls, I always tell girls, please don't try to be like someone else.
Yeah.
Yes, you can learn things from people, but be yourself.
Yeah.
We all have this unique personality, and it shows when you walk, the attitude that you have. And what you can do, like I mentioned, you can go on YouTube and get the basic steps. And then you add your personality.
See, that's just hard, because people who are clumsy like me, or you have 2 left feet, it's just like I'm never going to be able to do a walk.
But see, this is one of the requirements. If you decide that, okay, so I want to represent my country, then you're telling me that the basic walking you're not able to do. I think we need to begin to raise the standards, and a simple thing as walking, it should not be a problem.
Yeah. So we're talking about a catwalk walk. That's what happens.
Yes.
Right. And of course, it's the basics will also help them.
Yeah.
So don't be
You're
scared.
laughing, right?
Don't be scared.
Because we hear all the time, oh, the walk, and it sometimes I think it naturally comes from your confidence, but there's also a lot of training that goes into it as well. So show up, dress to impress, whatever that means and represents to you. What about your background? You know, maybe someone is concerned because they haven't gotten their first degree. Maybe they only have a high school degree. Maybe someone is concerned because they're a little overweight or a little short or outside of these stereotypical expectations. But what do you say to people? Well,
we'll start with the basic requirements that haven't changed that Miss Universe gives us, which ages 18 through 28, you have to have a Belizean passport, and you must never have been married, never have given birth. Other than that, of course, no criminal records. As far as education, if you haven't, at least you're pursuing or you're thinking of going into a degree, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, one of the, for me, like to me, the linchpin of, because you have certain givens, brilliance to me is the #1 thing, then beauty has to be there. It's a beauty pageant. I mean, I couldn't enter. And so, but the third thing is really your ability to handle pressure. Because I see a lot of these girls, very intelligent girls. I saw Miss Jamaica in the last one, which completely froze up. How does somebody gauge whether or not they can handle that pressure, and what mechanisms are there to develop handling that pressure? Because it's not just Civic Center and your granny, uncle, your auntie, and your ex-boyfriend. And we're talking about Steve Harvey and the world looking at you.
Yeah.
How do you develop that ability to handle pressure and know when you cannot or can handle that pressure?
I think it's about, well, I can speak from experience.
Because can I say one other thing?
Yes.
I look at your development. When you were here on the show before, your pace I mean, I guess you were a little bit faster in the way you speak. Now I see you settled, you have a lot more control. And I don't know if it's because the pressure is off or because you've dealt with the bigger fish, but now you're a completely different person. More confident, more poised, far more articulate, and far more measured. But how can you know it before?
Well, it definitely comes with practice. I did not like speaking at all. You know, I have all these thoughts in my head and it's not flowing how I want it to flow. But with practice, you could do it in front of a mirror. You could practice with your friends. You could practice every day at work. It's just practice, practice, practice. And of course, getting yourself in that right frame of mind. I always talk about mental health. Where are you up here? You need to prepare yourself that you are putting yourself in the public's eye. So you must be able to handle the criticism that comes along with that, whether good or bad, and you must be able to differentiate what is good and what is bad, and how you could take both and make it into something positive and make it beneficial for yourself.
I agree.
What type of training do you get for the girls once they've been selected?
Well, besides the walk, we
gotta try. You gotta try this walk, Kevin. I think he can do it. He's more graceful than I am.
on the walk like that, you just know.
Question and answer is very important. Yeah. Also, we trained her with 2 former Miss USAs in Los Angeles, so that's also important too.
Yeah.
And media training. You know, we put her on television in LA, so that's also part of it, being comfortable in front of the cameras, being
I
comfortable.
did not like that.
You know, it's live TV, it's seen by
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of people,
Yeah.
you know, in the #1 station in LA. So that all that is to prepare her for Miss Universe. She's going to be interviewed from, you know, persons from all over the world, so you have to prepare her for that.
Romeo, there are people who watch the pageant, and I think we love pageants, and we love it especially when it's at the prime time, not all the time before. But there are many people who are still so skeptical of us taking on this venture and all this financial support that people think is there, and putting all this hope when we are the underdogs going in. Kevin is right. You know, there are girls who are trained from babies to be pageant queens in other countries. There are full, let's be honest, reconstructive surgeries that take place with some candidates that go up for pageants. We are really far behind in this process. Why do you encourage people to still show support?
2 reasons. Number 1, Miss Universe is changing. They're no longer going after the cookie cutter beauty queen. That's 1. Number 2, and I mentioned this last year, Miss Universe came to me and said, we want Belize at Miss Universe and we feel that you can do it. So they want Belize there, you know? And also another thing is that this pageant is viewed by 1 billion people once a year. That's a huge platform for a small country like this. So why wouldn't we want to be a part of this? This is the Olympics of beauty pageants and we are not going to be part of it. We have to be. This is important for the country. This is important for the tourism. It's a huge thing, and I feel that it's a wonderful tradition and a huge opportunity for our girls.
You know, we've had some success. We've had Rebecca Roth, we've had you, we've had Jenelli, and we've been, it appears to me that we've been making strides forward. But for third world countries, as we do in sports, we go all the way up, or boys do good, or girls do good in volleyball, and then somehow 2 turns down the road, we seem to not have a consistent trek forward. And a lot of some of the valuable people we have leave us because they get frustrated. What can the public do in terms of supporting and making sure we continue to have that upward success, which is unlikely for third world, that's the third world, I think school me, developing countries like Belize that are strapped for finances. And it's a different ball game when you go in as an underdog, when nobody's paying you any attention, and so happy that you're even there, to the point where last year Belize did good. So she should know now these things, and her committee should know now these things. You're no longer the underdog. How do we continue to have success?
One thing that Miss Universe looks at that a lot of people don't realize is the support of the country. That is important. It doesn't matter who wins. We all have to support our queen. If
Yeah.
Miss Universe sees the whole country is behind her, they will pay attention.
Yeah.
Why do you think that they pay attention to the Philippines, Venezuela, Colombia? Because the whole country rallies around this
Even
one
Jamaica.
girl. Right.
Jamaica.
They rally around this one girl, posting on social media.
Online presence is
Online,
important,
exactly.
yeah.
Facebook, Instagram. If they see people are divided, they're not supporting, they're not going to pay us any mind. And to say, you know, a third world country won't go far. We had Nepal make it to the top 20. They're a third world country. That doesn't matter. We have to support our queen. If Miss Universe sees that the whole country is behind us, they will pay attention.
Yeah, and I think we need to start by changing that mentality about not being able to make it or not being seen. I think our presence alone is different from the women that you see there. So just being there and being your natural self, it really sets us apart. And it is engaging and inviting to the judges and the committee at Miss Universe.
It's been very clear. Belize has been getting more visibility in the past 2 times they've represented at the pageant. So let's talk about the details of the casting call, where one of these women will be on that international stage very soon.
It's this Saturday from any time from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Come to the Bliss. And like I said, dress to impress. Tell us why you want to be the next Miss Belize and a little bit about yourself. We want to meet you. Come on out, you know, 18 to 28, and it's
Never
a great
married,
opportunity.
never given birth.
Exactly.
Who are the assessors? Who are the selectors? Who are the screeners? Who will I be talking to?
Well, one of them is me, one of them is her, and the rest of the committee members.
Yeah.
Who are the rest of the committee members?
Well, we have Miss Karen Vernon from Niche that just joined. We're very happy to have her. We have, Mr. George Press, who comes, you know, we have Tracy Jenkins, Everly Skeen. You know, we have a committee that's committed to making sure that this is successful again, and we're excited.
Awesome.
All right. So at the Bliss this Saturday, 10 to 1, and dress how you would like to impress. And Jenelli, to all the girls out there who are scared to step forward, what do you tell them about finding the confidence to show up?
Do it. If you wake up thinking about Miss Universe, if you go to sleep thinking about Miss Universe, if everything that you see Miss Universe, then do it. Don't be afraid. We're not here to bring you down. We're here to help. We're here to find someone who is passionate about themselves and their country. And we want to see you there. We want to see your efforts and how you grow, because that makes a story as well, from where you started to where you eventually go to Miss Universe.
Can I ask this final question? You only need a Belizean passport, obviously, Belizean parentage. Are we expecting anybody from the diaspora?
Yes, this year we're actually we're allowed to have representatives that, as long as they have a Belizean passport, yes.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend, and we can't wait to see the big reveal of who makes it through. But that's all the time we have for today. We're going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have a wrap-up, so stay tuned.